Buenos dias. Happy Friday. Okay, we're going to do a very short video. It's going to be on Chapter 2, Analyze. I wish a student would volunteer and do this, but today we don't have any takers, so you get to hear my voice again. I was telling the class to please try and view the videos on YouTube on a desktop or maybe even like a really large tablet, because when you try to view it on your phone, this is really tiny and I don't want you to code that way. So please try to use a big screen for that. Okay, so we have here on page 76, we have the Analyze, Correct, and Improve. I've been reminding the class to please try and make sure that they're not doing this on their own. It can get confusing and overwhelming because there's a lot of HTML4 that the author tries to compare and contrast with HTML5. And if you're not familiar with old HTML4 and old any background knowledge on web development, you're going to get overwhelmed and confused. So I don't want to do that to you. Try and save these for class, for group work that we can all look at. And then also the other thing was, I do want to remind you, if you are doing the end of the chapter assignments, and let's say you do lab 3, or let's say you do your turn 1, 2, and you go to submit it on Blackboard and you realize there's not a Dropbox for that you've done the wrong assignment, that's okay. Go ahead and submit it and then put a comment and state that you did a different assignment from the same chapter, that you just wanted to do that one instead because you thought it fit more of what you're trying to accomplish once you graduate this program. That's fine, because it still meets the standards. It still deals with what we learned in the chapter, so I'll definitely grade it and give you credit for that. But please notify me. Put it in the comments so that I know that you've done that. Okay, we are on page 76 on Chapter 2, Analyze, Correct, and Improve. We're trying to find and correct errors. Now, you will use the W3C validator, which we learned about yesterday, and then that can show us also the errors. So actually, let me go ahead and pull that up, and let me see if it'll show us the errors on that. So let me minimize this really quick, and then show you. Well, I have a lot of stuff open. Yeah. Sorry about that. We were talking about NTHS today. Please try and join NTHS. Right now, today is the deadline, so we're not going to talk about that. But here's my Chapter 2 folder, and I'm trying to show you where we're going to locate the... Oh, this is the solutions. Never mind. Let me go back one folder. Okay, these are the data files. So this is actually what you guys see. And the data file that we're using is under Analyze, and it's this guy. So what we're going to do is, because this is a local file, I have not transferred it to my FileZilla. So remember the validator. You can either use, let me go to my tab, a URL or a file to analyze it. So we're gonna, in this case, since it's a local file, we're going to pull up the browse my computer and validate by file upload. So if this was on FileZilla and I had put it on the internet and published it, I could just put the URL here. I did not do that, so I'm just gonna use the file upload method. So I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to look for my data files, which I already showed you has all those numbers. And I know it's in the Analyze folder, and it's this one right here. So let's open that one. And we're going to click check. So this is one way to do it, where you can see that there were errors found. So there's a lot of stuff that's wrong, or 3 errors actually. And we're going to see what they are. So there's something that we notice is wrong with the doc type. Let me zoom in on that so we can all see. And it even tells you the line that it's on. And then maybe hopefully we can figure out what's missing or what doesn't need to be there. Yes, Kyle.
If you actually look at the code itself, you will actually see a few that the validator will not point out.
Ooh, okay, so that's great. So then we want to use this, but we also want to use our developer skills that we're developing as we're progressing through the course. We don't want to rely on this. We don't want to. We do want to make sure that this is something you're utilizing, but we want to start learning how to troubleshoot. So that's one thing you're going to do. We're going to have a lot of people who are going to try and hire you to troubleshoot their website and figure out what's wrong. So let me go back to the Analyze. And this is the one. Okay, yes, Kyle.
I see what I can find first, and then after that, I then use the validator.
Okay, perfect. Very good.
But the comment, as you can see, is missing some hyphens.
Very
The
good.
duck type is missing an X.
Wait, don't give us all the answers. We're all going to try and do it as a class.
Hyphen?
This is why I've asked you guys to come here and do it, and look at you volunteering but not wanting to do it as the main instructor. You should have just came up here and done it. Save me my voice. Okay, new file.
No, open file.
Yeah, I was going to open the file, but I kind of want to show
okay.
people how they can still go to any web page and edit their code even if they don't have that file saved. So in this case, we can still copy this code and put it on our text editor, and we don't have to rely on, I don't have that file. I can't help you with your code. Yes, you can just paste it. Now, what do you have to do so that you can see the color? Who
Save it.
remembers? Save.
HTML file.
Right, very good. So we're gonna save this. And of course, I think the way to save this, the most appropriate file name would be Analyze. Chapter 2 Analyze, something like that. So that we know which one we're working on. Remember to put that extension, HTML, just in case, make sure that we are saving it as a web page. Okay, so now we're ready to actually edit the Analyze file. And as you saw, we don't have to have the data file. If you have the web page, you can just go ahead and copy the page source onto your text editor. Okay, Kyle gave us the first one, line 1, and the validator kind of helped guide us to the first error on this Analyze web page. What was that, Kyle? What's wrong with line 1?
It needs an exclamation point between the opening angle bracket and doc type.
Perfect, very good. So there's that. So you cannot declare that it's an HTML file without having the right declaration, without having the first line right. So that's going to be, so we're going to save that. We're going to open it to make sure that now, hopefully that is no longer an error that's showing up. And you can tell too, so let me move this over and show you how you can tell that something's wrong with your web page when you go to your browser and you notice that, well, they tell you to declare the correct doc type. Okay. So we've done that. So let's go ahead and open it. So we're going to open in browser because now we have to make sure that our new one is on there. Okay, so we've got that. We've got that to declare the correct doc type. We've done good on that. What's the second thing that's wrong? Not Kyle this time. Let's pick on somebody else. Mikhail, what's the second thing that's wrong with this file? Trying to go in order too. So try to see if we've done something with line 1. Is there anything wrong with line 2? First of all, what's line 2? What is that? What are they trying to accomplish there?
Oh, comment. They need another dash.
Yeah. Hey, it was supposed to.
You took too long. I'm just kidding. Okay. Yeah, so there's supposed to be another hyphen there. Now what's wrong? Let Mikhail figure it out. Hold on, guys.
You gotta close it with another hyphen.
Very good. So right here. So you need 2 hyphens at the beginning and at the end. That's the way you properly comment in HTML. If you started doing CSS, you'll notice that there's a whole nother method of doing a comment on CSS. But for HTML, let's not move way too ahead, you want to comment by using this format. And you can tell it's a comment because it's grayed out. Can you see the comment on the browser?
No.
No. You can only see it on the page source. And Amado made a great point the other day on what website was that? Tumblr? No. What website?
All Flickr.
Flickr. If you look at their page source, they have a comment saying that they have job openings, but nobody would be able to see that from the browser view unless they knew how to view the page source and look at the comments. So,
Very clever.
yeah, that was very clever. Okay, moving on. Is there anything wrong with line 4, Steven? I don't think so either. Anybody else? Okay, so we're just putting the language in there. Anything wrong with line 5?
Nope.
Nope.
Opening tag.
What is it?
An opening tag. Header. That's all it is.
Yep, that's all it is. Yep, just opening the head tag, right? What about 6?
Yes.
What's wrong with 6?
Not indented.
Not in that. Oh, good catch. Yes, the structure does matter. Notice how none of this is indented. So that kind of makes it hard to read. Okay. There's definitely something wrong with number 7. I know, Kaya. I know you want to, but let's give somebody else a chance. Ch2Ana, what do you think you see on number 7? Right, number 7. You want to come closer so you can see? There's definitely something wrong with number 7.
Number 7.
Yes.
Things actually.
2 things?
Yeah.
No, just one.
It's missing a quotation.
Very good. Where?
I don't know. I know it's missing one. No, after the equal sign.
No, the equal sign's there.
No, right there.
Right there. Oh, after the equal sign. Very good. Yes. Do not forget to add your quotation marks. Thank you. Is the rest of it pretty good? Should be, I think. Yeah.
Not indented.
Oh, not indented? Does that need to be indented too?
Yeah, it's part of a header subgroup.
Okay, does that look better? Oh, and as you're going, save it and refresh. Refresh so you can see what it's doing on the browser side. So since we've been dealing with the head part, that's only behind the scenes. Remember, this part doesn't show up on the browser. The only part that shows up is the Analyze, Correct, and Improve, and that'll show up on your tab. If I close out all of these, the tab will expand and you can see the title, and it'll say Analyze, Correct, and Improve. Very good, guys. Okay, we're moving on to the body. Now, this section, lines 9 through, well, if 16 was right, lines 9 through 16, that does show up on your browser. So anything you put in here is going to show up here. Okay? Anything wrong with well, first, line 8, did we close it? Yes. Moving on to line 9. Anything wrong with the body tag?
Nope.
Okay, how about line 10?
Yes.
What's wrong with
Font
line
color
10?
red is an obsolete piece of code.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is it now? Or what should it be now? Or what are your suggestions? What do you guys think? Why is it obsolete and why is this not a
Because
best
it goes over
practice?
CSS now.
It goes over to CSS, okay? What else? It kind of tries to tell you, if you're reading this, it tells you to make sure you're using comments, check spelling, do not use the HTML font element, and avoid inline styles. So like you guys said, they're trying to make you learn how to do CSS and put your styles there. Because inline styles, what used to happen is you could put a style tag. You could literally just put style and then start declaring your styles. But then this would get really long and then people would get confused with HTML and their styles. So now we try to separate that. We put this in a new file. We call it .css, and that's where all of our colors and everything else goes that makes our web page look pretty. So what should we do with this?
Delete it.
Take it out. So we're just going to take out the font color equals red. You don't want to have that there.
And a closing tag.
And of course you want to close out the font or delete the font tag. Very good. Anything else? Oh, now that you have done this on the body, you should be able to see something happen to the browser side of it. And you'll notice that this is no longer red. What else should we do?
If all the paragraphs are online.
Yes. So we're going to indent, and then we're going to space it to enter it, to give it its own line. Make it a little bit easier to read. Actually, let's keep that one there.
Move the body down.
Oh, yeah, from the head. Like that.
Yep,
How about up here?
possibly.
See how this just makes it a little bit easier to read? You know for certain that this is the head section. You know for certain that this is the body section. And that just makes it easier to look at. So this spacing it, it's not going to do anything to the browser side. It's just going to make it easier to read your code. And then comments. Maybe, what can you add as a comment over here? I don't know. I'm just throwing something in there. Something like that. Or maybe if it's going to be your main text, this is where the main text starts. Giving them a heads up, whoever decides to go into your code and help you out and keep editing, that would be helpful, just guiding them. Okay, what's up with, should we give this a line, you said, in its own line, like that?
No, you don't have to.
But we can. Whatever makes it easier for you guys to look at. Definitely, what should we do here on line 13?
Number 2, make it its own paragraph.
Yeah, I would scoot it down. What's wrong with 14? What happened to number 2?
There's no closing tag.
There's no closing tag. You opened up a P tag, but notice how, and if you double click, it'll show you all your P tags, but notice how you never closed it. So you want to close that. Let's scoot number 3 down. Oh, what's wrong with number 3?
Now it doesn't have an opening tag.
So you can start noticing, if you're lining everything up correctly, you can start noticing and pointing out as soon as you look at it. Wait a minute, what's wrong with 3? Why is it all the way to the left? Why isn't it underneath 2? Oh wait, it's missing a P tag. And it even tells you, make sure you close your pair tag. So that's another best practice. So that's why you kind of want to line these guys up, just so that you can quickly point out what is wrong with them. Uh-oh, what's happening over here?
Just wrap text.
We got to put the wrap text on it, right? Oh. No, we're going to have to, because it's not going to let me do it.
Just make it a little bigger. Just drag the window bigger.
Oh my goodness, let's see. Okay. Anything else that you guys see that's wrong as I'm going along and making these indented and entering? You guys are gonna know to you guys are gonna learn how to make this a list. So that way it's not just paragraphs, but I don't think we've gotten there yet, so we won't move ahead. What are we missing on 20?
A closing tag.
A closing tag. What are we missing on
An opening tag.
an opening tag, right? And why is this its own line? Okay, number 10, and I think there's a lot of paragraphs here. Oh, I see something on number 22. What's wrong with number 22?
Spelling.
Spelling. What's spelled incorrectly?
Browser.
It's not browser, it's browser.
I
Very
misread it
good.
as Bowser the first time.
Browser, that's what I actually thought about too. And then number 3, what's wrong with number 3? Or 23, I'm sorry, 23.
It's an opening tag.
It's an opening tag. We're not opening body. This is our body. We're closing it. And then same thing. What's wrong with number 24? Okay, we're going to save all this. See what happens on the browser side. Nothing, but at least we get to see how clean it looks. This looks so much better than what it was before. All your P's line up. You know exactly where all your opening tags are. And then, of course, these won't line up because of the length of the sentences. But this makes it so much cleaner to look at. And you can tell which section's which, because we line them up as well. So good job. Now let's see the solution to make sure we're actually doing this correctly. So our solution one, I believe, is over here. Oh, they have a, look at what happened here. What did they do?
Oh.
Yeah, that's smart. We didn't do
You gotta read
that.
down in the book about that.
Yeah, so here what they decided to do is make this an H1. Does that make sense? Why they made that an H1? Because that's the title. That's the actual title, the heading of the page. And Sublime will try and close it for you in the wrong spots. So it's not a paragraph, it's an H1. And that's not saying it's wrong, it's just you should, or,
No, that's part of the analyze. It goes on and tells you.
oh, okay,
There's a couple
okay.
things you need to change yet. to make-
Oh, okay, what's the other thing?
Spelling,
Oh, okay.
2 misspelled words.
Oh, 2? Which one's the other one?
On line 5. Readability.
Oh, what did we spell it as? Let's look.
Line 15.
Is it right here?
The I, G, and A.
Wow, I didn't even catch that. Ability,
I
not
didn't either. I had to
ability.
use spell check.
Wow, yes, good. Use spell check, very good.
F6.
F6 will be spell check? Everything's spelled right because there's
We
no
already
red
changed it.
underlines. Yep. So let's go ahead and change this back. Let's see what happens. And let's do F6.
Did you save it?
Oh, no. It's not doing it. Maybe it thinks that it is right. What was it under? Is it under? We got word wrap on spell check. Yeah, it's supposed to be F6. Oh, there it goes. I don't know why it's not doing it. Okay. So yeah, so it'll tell you that that's wrong. And then it'll give you some options.
That one's
Inline
correct.
shouldn't be.
Yeah, it says it's correct in this circumstance.
Oh, okay. All right, so it looks good. So then we saved it, then we refresh it. Again, if you get this, just cancel it. And then you refresh it, and then that's it for Analyze. Not bad. We always want to learn best practices. We want to know how to do it correctly. Oh yeah, and then I was going to compare the structure of it. So this is the solution file. Yep, it is. And then this is ours. So making sure that we did the same as them. It looks like we did. Oh, they didn't have an extra line here. That's okay. They didn't have a comment. We added that. Validate. So we put this through the validator again. It should all come out looking great. All right, looks good. That is the end of the video. Any questions on Analyze? Again, do not attempt to do it on your own. If you do, then that's very brave of you because these will get harder as the book progresses. And I don't want to confuse or overwhelm you. So we'll do it as a class. Thank you. Wow, that was a long